Welcome to Life Workshop, where we discuss the forgotten basics. The topic of this episode is, can you help me clean up? And as always, it is your most favorite host and co-host, Mo and Bo.
Hello.
So before we get started, Bo, I wanted to ask you, if you go to a friend's house, let's say there are several people there, and then at the end, the host, who is your friend, asks you, hey, Bo, can you give me a hand, to clean up? Would you?
Yeah, I would have to because they asked you.
Okay. So you wouldn't just volunteer it?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay.
It all depends, I guess, on what's happening.
Okay. So when they ask you, would you just start helping out, or would you ask what kind of help do you need and how you want me to do it?
Usually you would just start doing some things, like say if it's let's say cleaning up some cans or something, or bottles, or cleaning some dishes up or something. You probably just do that on your own. But if anything more than that, you got to start asking people what they want, because otherwise you're not really helping them clean. You're just making more of a mess. Yeah,
and sometimes you just don't know how they like it to be done.
Yeah, exactly. It's not your house, right?
yeah. And because this is the thing, some time ago I should say the good thing is that I have lots of friends, and I have very frequently have friends over. So when I share some of the stories, nobody knows whom I'm talking about. I would say it was not about you, it was about somebody else. But I had these friends that they were over, then at the end when they wanted to leave, so, and actually normally they help. They know that, I wouldn't throw a party simply and just do all the cleaning prior and after. I asked them to come and help me both before and after. But anyway, so when she wanted to help out, she started just simply going through the drawers and looking for something. I said, so what are you looking for? Then she was looking for some containers. I said, well, the containers are in this drawer. And then she removes the containers, and then she starts, because there were some leftover things, that she just started putting them in those things, which she never asked me, okay, what would you want to do? Because normally that was not the way I would do it. Of course, it's not a big deal. I let her do what she wanted to do. But, the best way I would say it was if she would have asked.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Well,
this is the way that she's doing it. And sometimes these kind of things, they become a bit difficult, because I have had, for example, I have asked the same question from lots of friends as well as clients, that, for example, they said that somebody said that I never asked for help, but at the same time, I never, give help, because she's very particular about the ways that things get done. Or some other people, they really don't want anybody in the kitchen.
Yep. That's how I am. I want you just to stay the hell away.
Oh, that's good.
If I'm cooking something in the kitchen, just let me do it.
And another
if you're cleaning something else, just let me do it.
Yeah. Another friend was saying that he had gone to one of the family members' house, and at the end when he wanted to help, that family member said, you know what? No, that's okay. You don't need to. Thank you. But he gets a little bit offended. I said, but you know what? If that's how he wants it done, then that is how they want it done.
And that's funny, like how I like to do things on my own, right? And then people come in there and I get frustrated. I'm like, just get out of here, right? And then I don't help, like say if you're at a family dinner or something, I don't go in the kitchen usually and start helping. That's me showing you like respect. Saying like, you can do it on your own, And whereas someone might look at that saying, oh, God doesn't even help.
That's exactly it. You have different perspective on the exact same action. And the only way to fix it is simply by asking a question.
Yeah.
That, for example, do you need help? And if you need, what kind of a help? And how do you want me to do it? But, otherwise, if you go randomly do it, you're doing it your way, which is not probably their way. And of course, when I say about this thing, again, it depends what type of help it is. Because, for example, I was at a friend's, big party, and then afterwards, I didn't even ask. But because, for example, there were some glasses and some beer can and those kind of things on the grass. So obviously, he doesn't want them there. So I started picking them up. But then I was asking, where do you want them to be? Because some people, they just kind of rinse the can before they put it in the thing, I don't know your way, so you tell me what you want me to do. So, but so sometimes I don't ask, but if it was that clear. But if it is not, then normally I ask that, how you want it done, what you want me to do, and even how you want me to do it. Otherwise, things can sometimes become frustrating. Again, some people are very particular in the way that they do stuff. Now, another thing I wanted to share, it was one of my clients was telling me that, some time ago, he goes to his girlfriend's house and, she's cooking. And then he asked that if he can help her. And then she says, Joe, can you just cut the potato? And then, well, he says, sure. He goes to cut the potato. But then she says, oh, no, can you cut the potato this way? So he gets a bit offended. He says, you know what? I know how to cut the potato. I said, but it is her show. She wants to cook, just do it her way. So what's your problem? But it had become an issue between them. That, but then this was the word that he used. He said, but not only she wants to teach me, she's controlling me. It's not controlling you. She doesn't want to. And then, or another word, sorry, that she wants to change me. No, she wants to change the cut on the potato. That's all she wants. So I shared that with another friend, and then she said, but you don't know the background story. Maybe there has been something, which that is true. That, for example, if she had blamed him for something else that he had done now, for example, that background, story is there, and that is why he took it the way that he did. Then I said, but go ahead.
I guess, but you can't pull that into like someone wanted to control you once in your life. You can't like bring that into everything all the time.
That is
granted, but you can't dismiss it either. So
this is the thing. Exactly, this is the thing. We just exaggerated to make the other party guilty that she's the wrong one. But no, she just asked, cut the potato differently. She did not ask. She didn't want to change you, the whole you. Again, it goes back to that thing that we talked some time ago. In psychology, they say if you make a mistake or somebody that you like make a mistake, then you say it was just a mistake that they made or the mistake that I made, but I'm a good person or they're a good person. But if it is somebody that you don't know they make a mistake, normally you say that's the whole person that is a bad person and made the mistake. And sometimes in
but they didn't make a mistake. They just wanted to do something a certain way. It's not a mistake.
No, of course I'm talking not about time, but it's just the psychology of that. If, for example, let's say you see a bad driver, then if it is your own, yourself, you make a mistake in driving, then say, oh, it was just a mistake, I'm a good driver.
Yeah.
But if it is somebody else that you don't like or you don't know, then you say that's a bad person, a bad driver and bad person. And when it comes to discrimination, it goes further. The whole nation becomes the bad driver. For example, I have heard this, that they say the Chinese are bad drivers. I said, how do you know that? I saw one Chinese or they're all bad. That's all my proof. So 1.4 billion Chinese are bad drivers.
Yeah.
And this goes from being just a bad driver to a bad person to a bad nation, the whole thing, And sometimes we do it the other way around too. So for example, if you find a fault in me, you say it, then I say, so you don't like immigrants? You don't like the whole me, and then you don't like my whole family and my whole nation? We switch it, make it a bigger thing. Yes, that is how to put the other part at fault. It is done very frequently. I don't know if you have noticed that sometimes people, they just make it such a big thing. No. I was just talking about that behavior in you, not the whole you or the whole nation and the whole continent. It was just that part.
I've only heard of that on the internet. I haven't had that in real life.
No. Actually, in real life, that happens frequently too. I have seen that, but now back to the main topic. As I said, then when this friend of mine, she said that but maybe there is a background story. I said, but you know what? This is the thing. If we take things, we don't take them at face value, then this is the problem. It becomes like if you have a plate full of food and you eat it, and then some is left, and then you put another food in it. and then again some of the food is left. So what I'm doing, the flavor keeps mixing with the previous food, and then when the flavor changes, then the new food, you just don't know what you're getting. Am I making sense?
That's what you're talking about. Like,
okay,
are you making sourdough or what are you doing? Like,
it became sourdough. No, what I'm trying to say, if you don't take it at face value, and then you say that, the thing that you said, I know what you meant, versus you just say, okay, the words that you said, I'm just taking it for face value. If you do that, then it's good. If you said that, cut the potato in a different way, I'm just going to cut it in a different way. But if there is a story behind it, or one day you said something, that I'm not good at this. Now you think I'm not good at this one too. You just keep adding to it. Am I making sense there? Am I?
Yeah, but the one thing though is giving instructions.
Mm-hmm.
Like say, cut the thing this way, or clean up, put the stuff this way, or do whatever. Like these go in the garbage can, these go in the recycle bin. You know what I mean? That's instruction. It's not a criticism, or it's not something about changing yourself or the way you do something. It's not the way you do something. It's like just one little thing.
The way that you say it is correct, but very frequent. Just this morning, I was talking to some friends, and I brought the same question, and then one of the friends, she said that, no, you can't tell me how to cut it. I know how to cut the potato.
You know what? A friend of mine, like I when I cut things, say if I'm making a stew, I cut things in big chunks. Like, I like big chunks of stuff in my stew, right? And she did not. She wanted them all small, so that when you take a spoonful, you can get a little bit of everything.
Everything.
I did not like that, and I tried really hard to cut things small, but they still came out like chunky, And then I got yelled at for that, which is rightfully so, but I couldn't do it. I tried.
Yeah, okay. Of course, I say I'm the guy who wants it smaller too, so I'm with her.
It's awful.
So you're the other group.
But I don't know. I think it's because I grew up that way, having the larger chunks in it, right? And I don't know.
But again,
it's nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this small thing, sometimes they become a bit of an issue. And simply can be removed, it can never ever become a problem if we really take them at face value. Also, you want me to cut it this way? Sure, I'm going to cut it this way. If any previous history you had said something, I'm not going to take into consideration all that and say that you meant this. Just not to make a big fuss about it, which actually people do. So the audience, please go and ask the same question, and probably, I'm sure you might have an idea already that ask, and you will see that the variety of answers that you get. Some people really get offended that are you kidding me? I know how to cut potato. Don't tell me how to cut potato. It's a free country. I can cut it the way I want to, and if you don't want my help, I'm not gonna help. They get very seriously. No, and this is what I'm saying.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, sometimes people like a cubed hash brown or a shredded hash brown. How would you know which one you're gonna make if you don't ask?
Exactly. That is exactly what I'm saying. They are running the show. Just listen. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to be.
It will not make you. It will not make you the smaller person or uneducated. Actually, you have to follow. You should be a good follower. That is another thing. You don't have to be leading all the time. Most of the time, you have to be a very good follower. Just listen how they want it to be done. Do it that way. And normally, I say this. I say help people the way that they need to be helped, not the way that you want to help.
Right.
Otherwise, my help might be just a certain way. It doesn't matter what you want. And for example, one of the things was, I had a patient of mine when I was in Dubai. He falls and he breaks his both wrists from I think a 10-foot height or something. And then he's in pain. And then somebody, a bystander that's walking, comes and immediately try to help him to stand up by holding his hands while he's screaming. Yes. This is the thing. Of course, now I'm taking you to one of the extreme situation that made obviously things worse.
Yeah.
You just, of course, in this situation, you want to assess the situation. What can I do? Think about that. You just don't jump in immediately, unless if you're absolutely professional, you have done this forever, that is broken and you know what to do. But most of the time, you don't know. Yeah. So you want to assess the situation. Every time you assess it. Now, when it comes to help, again, the same thing, again, you ask them. Of course, I don't want to make it a big, as important as, falling and breaking your hand. But, just ask what kind of help you need. And then how do you want me to do it too? Because, clean up. Okay. the cleaning, again, people do it differently. And even, for example, once years ago when I came to Canada at the beginning, I was staying with this friend, and then he kind of got mad at me and his brother that you guys don't help me, clean the house. And then I said, okay, how do you want me to clean up? And he didn't tell me, just go clean up. And I'm new to the country. I was not familiar with the products in here. I didn't know how to use them. And he refused to tell me. So I go clean up. And then afterwards he gets mad that that's not how it should be done. It should be done this way. So I just asked you, what do you want me to do? So the concept of asking, again, I would say is a very important thing. It goes back almost to the same concept that we talked in that episode, how to use a can opener.
Right.
Would you figure it out or would you ask? Again, it goes, I personally believe just simply ask. Don't try to figure things out. It's a very simple thing. Can you imagine if you wanted to become a plumber on your own? Just go figure it out versus taking training. And if I wanted to become a physio on my own, I'm not going to ask. I'm going to figure it out. Every time we would start from zero.
Yeah, those probably aren't very good ideas.
If I'm taking it a little bit to the extreme, but it just makes the same sense that, kind of the same principle. Again, for the can opener, it's a simple thing. But if it's a bit of a complication to it, would you leave the can sitting on the counter when you're opening it, or the can opener is grabbing and holding that thing? There are two different things. And anyways, so it just goes back to the concept. I would say ask question more. And then actually another thing, for example, I had one of my staff a year ago or something. It was that she wanted to be nice, and she knew that when I go to work, the first thing I want to make coffee. So she goes and put this Keurig thing into the coffee machine before I get there. And then, but another colleague of mine gets there before me and wants to make tea. So she removes that, throws it in garbage, because things that, as usual, this was a used one, and then makes her own coffee.
Yep. And
then when I went, I noticed that there is a Keurig that hasn't been used, but is in the garbage. And then I realized what happened. And I said, but the intention is good. Obviously, the performance sucked. So the best way would have been that, again, to ask and to inform. You don't make changes before informing the other party or asking actually for consent or for agreement, not consent necessarily, but it becomes that three-way communication that we have talked about. That three-way communication, for example, said, hey, Bo, can you do this for me? And then you repeat back to me, do you want me to do that for you? Then I would say yes. To make sure this is understood. Of course, I'm talking about more serious stuff, but again, for the smaller thing, the same principle almost applies. You cannot just make changes randomly and then before, informing others, and, things can go wrong. This is exactly how things go wrong, although the intentions often are very good, and then becomes a bit of a problem. But so anyway, going back to the whole thing again, the concept is just that, I would say, ask for help.
And be open to following instructions.
Yeah, and it is not changing you, it is changing the cut of potato. So you don't have to make a big fuss about it. Again, take it at face value. If they are asking you to do something, it is not an insult. And it is not that they are trying to control you or change the whole you. It is they want to change the cut on the potato. But and actually, this is another thing. Would you ask your friends if you have a party in your house that to help you for cleaning up?
No, I doubt it.
I on the other hand, actually, I do. As I said, when it's especially it's a bigger party, there is no freaking way that I'm gonna do it before and after. Absolutely not. And because of that, actually, I have run a little bit into these things more. And then when they come, I would normally say that let's just plan. Which is silly sometimes to some of them. So no, let's just plan who does what, how it gets done, and then of course for bigger parties, because I'm more of a tree hugger too. Sometimes, for example. They throw a can that can be recycled in the garbage, and that doesn't go very well with me. But anyway, and I don't want really to do it on my own. This is another thing. If it's a smaller thing, sometimes I do, but no. So anyway, so at the end, so the question that I have for the audience is that, do you ask, first of all, that what kind of help your friends need and how you're going to do it, and to make sure that the how part of it is the same way that they want, or you just simply go and simply help. That is one thing. And then the other one is that, do you yourself ask for help when you have a party, or just prefer to do it on your own? So these are the two questions, and you would be surprised to see that how much of differences are there when we do things. Again, at the end, remember, life is simple. We make it complicated. Again, thanks for listening, and again, please remember to support us by subscribing as well as sharing this podcast. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Bye-bye.